recording. And there are a couple of things I want to go over today. Now, oh, there we go. So hopefully you can see something saying extension work. Could somebody just unmute for a second and confirm that you can see it saying extension?
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah.
Thank you. Now, as you know, the guidelines we've been given as a school, and certainly what I've been sticking to every lesson, is that I'm starting every lesson with a live bit, as you know, this bit now, where on the whole I'm just sort of leading you into it, modeling a few answers, and that's taking about 5 or 10 minutes. Now, it's great that so many of you are watching that live, but if you're not able to watch it live, and I understand it's not always easy, as you know, you can just watch the recording back either on Teams or on YouTube. And then, as you know, I've moved over now that really all the homeworks I'm setting are on Hegarty Maths, which I think works really well for two reasons. You can obviously see how you're going as you go, whether you're getting it right. You've got the satisfaction of just seeing your percentage there straight away, and you've got the opportunity to repeat it over and over again if you want to, if you can do that within the 25 minutes or so. And then, as you know, I'm keeping an eye on that. And once I can see that you've finished the work, you know, once you've clicked on hand it in, or you've got a really high mark or something, I'm then transferring that mark over and writing it onto the page I've set up in Teams. And that's allowing me to sort of formally record your percentage, which goes automatically into my remote mark book. And it also gives me an opportunity to leave you a comment saying how well you've done. Now, I'm not thinking so much of this reflection work because this has been difficult and it doesn't really lend itself to online teaching particularly well. But I'm aware of the fact that at times some of you are doing the work really quickly. Now, if you want to, and only if you want to, you do not have to do this. I just want to make sure that you've got some extension work out there that you can do as an extra, but only if you want to. At the end of the day, if you're just doing the Hegarty quiz I set every lesson, getting a good mark on that, that's exactly what I want. But I just didn't want any of you ever feeling that you'd quite like to do a bit of extra maths and you weren't being given the opportunity by me. Okay, so this is what it says on the tin. Extension work is just an extra if you want to. So I think the first thing I would always do, if I were you, if you've missed one of the quizzes, so you just never got around to doing it, that would definitely always be my first thing I would want you to do as an extension work, to fill in your gaps. And also, say you just struggled a bit and you got, say, like a 40% or something, why not go back and improve that percentage? So I think that would always be my suggestion of a first extra thing you could do if you wanted to. Now, if you do improve your Hegarty percentage, can you just drop me a quick one-liner note on Teams? Just say, oh, Mr. Withers, I've redone Hegarty number 345. Please, can you update my mark? And I can, and then I can go back and see what your new mark is, and I can transfer that over to my mark book. Because what Hegarty doesn't do, it doesn't sort of automatically tell me when somebody's improved their marks. So that bit in red, I think, would always be your first thing I would want you to do if you were looking to do something extra. Now, the other thing, if you're nicely up to date with all that red stuff, there's a really good website out there called Corbetts Maths. And I think I might have done the odd prep from that in the past. I forget. Now, if you go onto the Corbetts Maths website, and there you go, so it's Corbetts Maths spelt like up there, you will see that you've got, it's an excellent website. You've got videos and worksheets. So you've got an endless supply of topics, and what's also really good, you can run off the practice questions, okay? Or if you're not able to print them off, you could just copy them onto a piece of paper. You can watch the video to go and double check how to do it. And then what's really good as well, you can click on the answers and you can then mark your work. So I would suggest that if there's ever any time that you want to do something extra, just go on that and either find something that you've struggled with later, and it's all just filed away alphabetically, or just something that you've done in the past, and just do the worksheet, and I'll come on to how I'd want you to let me know what you've done. Okay. What I don't want you to do is think, oh, I've never done that topic before. I'm going to go and have a look at that, because there's obviously going to be most of those worksheets are stuff we're going to cover in second and third and fourth and fifth form. So I really only want this to be something where you're looking at something that you're familiar with. You've done it before. You know, it's one of the topics we've covered in the past. Okay. Now, if you choose to do this, and remember, this is just a voluntary optional thing if you wanted to, what I would like you to do, please, is first of all to mark it. Okay. So you've got a mark. And then just if you want to let me know about it, upload it to the class notebook. But can you put it into class notes, please? So it's really just been filed away as extra stuff. I really want to keep the homework bit on Teams, where we've just got the bits that you have to do, okay, the compulsory bit of the lesson. So if you do want to let me know that you've done some extra extension work, go and file it in class notes, not in homework, and then just drop me a quick one-liner on post to let me know that you've done it, and then I can go and have a look and leave you a nice favourable comment. Okay, so that's it. So I just wanted that to be there, because I'd hate to feel that either you guys or your parents ever sort of felt that really you hadn't been given the opportunity to do anything extra if you wanted to. So that's on that. Now, what I want to do today's lesson, I want us to go over the reflections again, because I think some of you were making a few mistakes, but B, perhaps more importantly, I think you were finding it really frustrating how specific you were having to pop your answers onto Hegarty for Hegarty to recognize your answer. So let's just go and say the correct answer was 7 minus 6. When you're putting your answer in, you must include the brackets. Don't just write 7 comma minus 6. Okay, you must include the comma. Don't leave spaces, so don't do like 7 comma space minus 6. Okay, but also, because some of you were saying, oh, Mr. Withers, it's not fair, it's just not marking it right. You were getting the signs wrong. You know, if the answer is 7 minus 6, that's not the same as minus 7 6 or something. Okay, now I'm sure that the order that you put the 3 coordinates in doesn't matter, because they don't tell you what order to do. So it would be grossly unfair if you got them exactly right and the order match. Some of you have said to me, oh, I was getting it right, just the wrong order. When I've gone back and looked at your Hegarty, because I can see your incorrect answers, you didn't get them in the wrong order, you got them wrong. Okay, so that's the first thing. So just make sure that you just read through this before you do it again, and you're doing all of those things. Okay, now some of you were getting your coordinates wrong. Okay, so let's just have a really quick practice of what coordinates are. So I'm just going to just say to you a letter, and I just want you to think in your head for a second what you think the coordinate would be before I go and say it loud. So you don't need to pause the video. I'm just going to give you a second or two. So can you all just double check in your heads that you know what the coordinate of A is going to be? Now, that's going to be 4, 2, isn't it? Because we've gone 4 along the corridor to the right and 2 up the stairs. So A will be 4, 2. Now have a think about what the coordinate for B would be. Okay, now that coordinate is going to be 2 minus 5, because it's 2 to the right and 5 down. Now have a think about the coordinate for C. Now that's going to be minus 6 minus 2, because it's 6 to the left and 2 down. And then the coordinate for D, well, that's going to be minus 4, 2, minus 4 plus 2, okay? Because that's 4 to the left and 2 up. So remember, the first coordinate is always your left or right. It's the along the corridor. To the right, it's a positive. To the left, it's a negative. And then the second coordinate is your up or down the stairs. Up being positive, down being negative. So just wanted to clarify that because some of you were messing those up. Now, don't need to go over this again. Okay, we touched on this last time. I think it was Poppy who confirmed, and thank you, Poppy, that is pretty easy to click on this link to get the worksheets. But Flo was saying before the lesson started, well, what do I want you to print out? You print out whatever you need to help you get the quiz questions right. Okay, I'm not worried whether you upload it for me to see or not. I mean, lovely if you do, but all I want to do is see some high quiz marks. Okay, so I personally would have thought just running off one would be enough to allow you just to draw everything on it and just gather your thoughts as you sort of reflect it. Now, I went through last lesson what all these various mirror lines were. So if you, just to remind you, x equaling 5 is the line going downwards through x equaling 5 because all the x coordinates are 5. X equaling -3 downwards through -3, and similarly with the y values. The y values, y equaling 3 is the horizontal line through 3. Now, what I probably didn't emphasize enough, because I can now see that the Hegarty Maths, the first 1 or 2 questions don't have like x equals 3 or y equals 2. They talk about the x-axis or the y-axis. So if the question asks you to reflect over the x-axis is the horizontal line. So be clear in your mind. The x-axis is horizontal, but x equaling a number is vertical. Okay? Now with y, the y-axis is the vertical axis, yet y equaling 3 or y equaling -2 or y equaling 0, they are all the horizontal mirror lines. So just again, I could see straight away that some of you were getting in a bit of a muddle over what your mirror line was. So go back and play this recording again and just be very clear in your mind what I've just said. Now, when you go and do a question, so for example, we've reflected this blue triangle in the line y equals 0, we clearly have to write down the 3 coordinates. Now be ever so careful. You are going to have to get all 3 exactly right. Doesn't matter the order, but you're going to have to get them exactly right for Hegarty to give you the mark. Now, if you find that you are getting frustrated and you're getting 2 out of 3 right, say, Hegarty's still going to give you nothing, I'm afraid. Now, if you find that keeps happening, do feel free, if you want to upload the question and upload your workings to me, because I can give you credit. I can go and give you credit. If you're getting 2 out of 3 right, I can give you 2/3 of the marks as I transfer your mark over to your Hegarty, over from your Hegarty mark over to Teams. So it's quite possible you might only get, say, 25% or 40% on Hegarty, but if you let me see what your answers were, I can probably bump your mark up to a much higher mark as I move it over to assignments, okay, as I move it over to Teams. So that's just something to bear in mind, okay? So if you find that you're getting frustrated, that you're getting most of them right, but each time you just make one little slip, as long as you can upload the question and the answer, I can probably try and boost your mark a bit. So you don't have to do that, but it's just an option. So your goal today, guys, is to redo Hegarty 639. I just double checked before this lesson. I don't think anybody got 100% yet. I think one of the Sophies have got 80%. I think that was the highest mark at the moment. Okay, but what I want you all to do, please, is to just spend your homework time today just going back to 639 and improving your mark if you can. Just go and then press over on Teams, hand it in, so I know that you've finished your goes, and then I will go and transfer those marks across. And just as I said a minute ago, if you do upload your workings, then that would be an opportunity to perhaps get some extra method marks if you're still not very happy with your mark. So that's it, guys. Thank you so many of you for tuning in. All right, I will go and stop the recording and let you get on with today's exercise. So it's Hegarty 639 again. So cheers, guys. Bye.